Hi everyone, this is Sean. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you as a private security company owner or manager, or a private security manager or owner of a security company, or maybe you own a security training business or an investigation training business. I am going to show you how not to get ripped off, because I have been ripped off and you can use my case as a case study. Please do not make the same mistake that I have in the past. Before we begin, I want to thank all of you on this channel. I woke up to 5,015 subscribers. And I mentioned 15 on top of 5,000 because every subscriber counts. Thank you for those of you who forward my videos to other people, to your colleagues, to your coworkers, to your subordinates, to everybody out there, to other social media platforms. If it wasn't for you, we couldn't be the way that we are right now. 5,015, that's a lot. Just a quick update, this channel is still demonetized. I'm still technically in YouTube prison. I'll get out one of these days, hopefully soon. Okay, let's talk. So one of our subscribers, we'll call him Tony. Me and Tony, we've been interacting on maybe a bi-weekly basis, and Tony is enrolled in our Private Patrol Operator Leadership and Development course. This is a 40-hour course that's 100% online, and it's a course that you're able to interact with your instructor, and that's me. I teach you how to manage a private security company all the way from scratch. And I teach you in the best way possible how to avoid liability. And I teach you how to create different forms. And I have a lot of forms that you guys can use: payroll forms, HR forms, audit forms, and this helps. At the end of the day, when you graduate from this course, you'll feel a lot more competent in owning and managing a private security company in California. And the course is actually designed to help you pass the Private Patrol Operator Qualified Manager test. So anyhow, me and Tony, we've been interacting a lot. I usually interact with my students more than anybody else. But anyhow, he forwarded me this video on another channel. It's called the Officer Report channel. And I just got a lot of flashbacks and a lot of concerns that have been just boiling over time that I need to really emphasize. And that's getting paid on time. I cover this in the Private Security Leadership and Development course. But there's a couple of other nuances that I want to cover. So anyhow, let me talk to you guys about my story. When I started my private investigation business, I was eager to get any contract that there was. Somebody would reach out to me, oh, hey, no problem, I'll do the service. And I would go out there and do all of my surveillance and private investigation operations, and then I would ask for payment later. Well, this particular private investigation company, I trusted, because the owner, it was the vice president. Actually, I think he still is the vice president of a nationwide fraud association. So you're thinking, oh, hey, this guy belongs to the fraud association. He's in a leadership position. I'm going to get paid on time. Guys, I worked my tail off in 120-degree heat, conducting surveillance operations. Those of you who work surveillance, you guys know that you can't run your car unless you have an electric car. You can't run your car 5 hours, 6 hours at a time without being compromised. You got to shut off your car sometimes so the engine isn't noticeable to others, and then you got to let the air back on. And you have to do that in the desert or you're going to just die. So I was doing that. And then I needed some assistance with the case file. They would provide me the intel that I needed at their expense. They have access to a variety of databases. They would always respond: phone call, email, quick. I'm talking about 10 minutes response, an hour response, no more than 4-hour response. And I thought, this is a good working relationship. And I got paid $50 an hour. And I took on this contract by myself. Well, I sent him the invoice, no response. 2 weeks pass, send him another invoice, no response. Then I called, no answer. Left voice messages, No answer. Then sometimes somebody answer, oh, I'm not in charge of billing. You got to talk to so-and-so. I'll leave them a message. That person wouldn't return my call. We're playing these damn games for a good 2 months, guys. And then they told me later on that, hey, you know what? The insurance company has a delay in payment. It's about 60 to 90 days. But they didn't tell me that on the get-go. I don't know about you guys. I don't know how you feel about this, but I don't care how long it takes for that insurance company to pay the client you're currently servicing. Or I don't care how long it takes a customer to pay the person or company that you're servicing. Why do I care? All I care about is me. Okay, I want to get paid on time. I work my tail off working in 120-degree heat, and I deserve a timely payment. That shouldn't be any excuse. So I found out that this is something that's rather common in the industry, and in a way I kind of made the mistake. I didn't ask when I was going to get payment. Anyhow, one of the reasons why they finally send a payment, and we're talking about close to about $3,000. The reason why they send a payment later on was because they needed my help on a pending case that was due like in 1 or 2 weeks. That's why they paid me when they did. It wasn't because I kept reaching out to them. It's because they needed me again, because I was the only person that was located in this area. They would have to pay somebody a lot more money, pay for a lot more travel time. So lessons learned is this. Make sure that you guys ask for an advance. Or I'm sorry, that you ask for a deposit. And this is mostly for the short-term projects. So if you have a project that is, we'll just say it's a 2-week project. My recommendation is to ask for 50% upfront. 50%. And why 50%? 50% covers basically my overhead and cost basis. Many times on these assignments, I end up having 1 or 2 employees that will work under me, and they need to get paid on time. It doesn't matter if I get paid late; they will get paid on time. Every single time they will get paid. They're done with the assignment. We're done with payroll. You get your check. You earn that check. That 50% will cover them. Many times that 50% will cover me and any overhead cost. And usually cost to that amount that I get will allow me to live another day, to buy food on the table, water, snacks, you name it. It's decent. Now, the other 50% would be profit. Can I lose profit? Yes, you can lose profit, but that 50% is for my living expenses. So most of the time, I'm good if I just ask for 50%. And these are with clients whom you never done business with. So if you're dealing with a client you met for the first time and they seem reputable, you still should ask for 50%. I know other people ask for 100%. It's your business. You do what you want. But I found that 50% works. If they end up not paying the other 50%, it's up to you if you want to go to court. I prefer not to go to court because I'm going to spend all this time, 40 hours preparing a course, maybe less, maybe more. You're talking about travel time, waiting in court, testifying. I mean, I could be doing something else. So will I take them to court? Maybe not. Now, this is for short-term projects. Now, if you have a project, let's just say that's for a good year or every single month, they constantly want service. It's up to you guys once again. But what I do is, if it's a longer-term project, whereas it's every month, at the beginning of every month, payment is due 30 days ago. And what I do is I include a clause that if payment is not received within 7 days, not business days, calendar days, that I have a right to stop service. So what that means, if you own a security company, even a bodyguard company, maybe you're protecting a celebrity, if they don't pay on the 7th day, okay, I'm not going to warn them. That day, After, on that 7th day when I'm not paid, that celebrity is not going to have any bodyguard protection services. So I don't care if they're going to a concert. It doesn't matter. They are not going to have any protection services, and I am not going to give them a heads up. Now, obviously, you have to go by the contract. The contract says you have to give them a heads up, then you have to give them a heads up. But the heads up to me is what you what they signed for. They already signed 7 days after non-payment, you can stop services. Okay, without warning. So make sure that you have a legal binding contract. But that's what I do. You don't pay on time. There's no maybe they'll pay. Guys, I've been down this road so many times. Oh, Sean, we'll pay you. We forgot. Or our client's going to pay us next week. They lie, guys. They constantly lie. It happens way too much. Don't believe them. Action speaks louder than words. So on the 7th day, if they don't pay, don't play into their games, guys. Consider it a business loss. You lost. Go look for another client. If a client does not want to sign this agreement that after 7 days you get to stop service, don't deal with that client. Because the next question is, wait a minute, I'm promising to provide you services and you can't even agree to pay me on time? That doesn't make any sense. Let's now talk about payment penalties that are in addition to terminating the contract. This is a topic that we discuss in our 40-hour Private Patrol Operator Leadership and Development course. We talk about contracts, we talk about terms and conditions, and we even talk about payment penalties. Now, this is the kicker. Different states have different rules. And what it seems like most states don't want you to do is they don't want you to play judge and be the penalizer. So let's talk about what that means. So let's just say the client owes you $10,000 for the month, and you have a clause that says that if you don't pay by the 1st of the next month, then there's a $15,000 penalty. Okay, if you do something like that, guys and gals, the courts may not honor that, even if the other party agrees to it, because you're playing the role of enforcer or judge. They don't want you to do that. What the courts tend to want you to do is have a cost basis for the penalty. So for example, if you have a 5% or 7% penalty or a 10% penalty, you can articulate the penalty by mentioning, well, had I been paid on time, I could have reinvested that money, $10,000 of it in the stock market. Every single year, the S&P 500 grows about 5%. There's some years that are 10%. There's some mutual funds out there that are hyper aggressive that grow 10%. And guys, I'm just throwing some numbers out there. But there's some type of rationale for that. Or maybe that 10% penalty is used to hire a debtor company, a debt collection agency to collect that money from you. And maybe they charge 10% of the debt. You see what I mean? There's some type of basis for that percentage that you have. Can you put 90% penalty, 80%? You can, but again, there has to be a basis behind it. You can't just throw magic numbers out there. Obviously, every state is different, and obviously I'm not an attorney and nothing in this video is professional or legal advice. But this is something that I've seen in the research that has been conducted for the 40-hour Private Patrol Operator Leadership and Development course. Make sure you guys have the penalty. If you don't have a penalty, I'm telling you guys, it's going to be harder to collect. You should also include a penalty because that 10% might include some of your time. So if you're trying to collect 10% off of $10,000, which that would be $1,000, maybe 5 or 8 hours of your time would involve trying to collect on this debt. So have some type of rationale for the penalty that you provide on there. That's all I have. I really want to hear from those of you who are entrepreneurs. When is payment due with your clients? Is it every 7 days? Is it every 30 days? Is it every 6 months, 5 months? Does it depend on the client? And with a new client, do you ask for 50% upfront? Do you ask for 100%, 20%, 10%? Do you ask for nothing, or does it just depend? We really want to hear from you guys. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate those of you who are private security company owners. Maybe you own a private investigations company. This client base, subscriber base, we really depend on a lot of your feedback. So I really appreciate all of you guys. Thank you. Take care, and I'm looking forward to the feedback.